Welcome back to the Python tutorial series. I'm so glad you're here. This is the 7th video in this series, and today we will be building a basic calculator in Python using if statements. In order to do this, we will first learn comparison operators and then if statements. Once we learn that, we will then be able to build a calculator in Python. How cool is that? The timestamps are in the description below. So let's get started. So let's first talk about comparison operators. If you missed our previous tutorial about arithmetic operators, you can click the link above. Some basic comparison operators include greater than, less than, or equal to, and more, and they return a true or false value. You can put them inside of a variable or inside of a print statement. Here we're going to use them inside print statements, and then they'll either print true or false. Here I'm going to run 5 is greater than 2, 5 is less than 2, greater than or equal to, and less than or equal to, and they respectively return true, false, true, false. You can also see if 5 equals 2 by doing a double equal sign, and this will return false. In Python, you can also do not equals to by exclamation point equals, and that just means not equals to. Then when we run this, we should get true because 5 does not equal 2, and there you have it. You can also use comparison operators and an or. For the and condition to return true, both statements need to be true. However, for or, only one of the statements has to be true. And we get false for and true for or respectively. You can also enclose an entire and or statement with the word not. So this returns the opposite. So this would be false, but we have not outside of it, so not makes it true, and there you have it. In Python, you can also have more than one and or statement in the same line, and you can enclose things in parentheses. If you don't, it just moves from left to right like multiplication or division, and when you run this, you get false for both of them. That is a brief overview of comparison operators. Now we're going to use what we learned from that with if statements. With this if statement, we're going to have the user input two numbers and we're going to determine what number is the largest. In order to do this, you type in if, open and close parentheses, and then a colon here, and then enter and then indents here. So if what inside this is true, it will do whatever you put inside the if function. So we're going to do if num1 is greater or equal to num2, we're going to print num1. We could do another if statement, just the opposite for num2 if num2 is greater than num1, but we only need one if statement. We're going to do this thing called else. Basically with else, if this isn't true, it will automatically do the else. And we know since num1's not the biggest, it has to be num2. So we're going to print num2. I should also add, for clarity, num1 is the largest number and num2 is the largest number. That makes it easier for the user to see what the function actually does. And remember, since this is in a print statement, we have to say string num1 because this cannot concatenate, and string num2. And then when we run this, we're going to input two numbers. Let's say num1 is greater than num2, so I'll do 7 and 4, and 7 is the largest number. I should put a space there, and we also notice it's 7.0 since this is a float number, not an integer. Let's run this again, but let's say this time num2 is greater than num1. It will still work. And 11.0 is the largest number. This statement also works if both of them are equal. And we'll do 7, 7, 7.0 is the largest number. Now this is great and it works for two numbers. But what if we wanted to do three numbers instead. We're going to do num1 is greater than or equal to num2, and num1 is greater or equal to num3. Then print num1 is the largest number. And in Python, we can do a statement called else if. We can do else if and then do another set of conditions. And there's an abbreviation for else if in Python called elif. It's the same thing, just easier to type. So elif num2 is greater or equal to num1 and num2 is greater than or equal to num3. And technically, we don't need this and statement. We can delete the first half entirely, since we know num1 isn't the biggest. This is redundant, but I'm leaving it here in my code because it will still work. And then we're going to print num2 is the largest number. And then we can do our else statement here. And we know that num3 will be the largest number because we eliminated the others. Now let's run this and test it and do 7, 11.1, and negative 7. 11.1 is the largest number. And there you go. That's how to use if statements in Python. Now we can use what we learned to build a calculator. I'm so excited. We're going to start this program by asking the user to enter a number operator and another number. When we ask this question, we know the operator symbol, so they'll give us just the symbol. We don't have to deal with as much variability then, because the user can't enter either plus, add, or addition for addition. It will just be the plus. So we're going to do if the operator is equal to plus, then we're going to print num1 plus num2. And we can copy this if statement, then do else if, then just change the operation. And we'll do this for every operation: addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, floor division, modulus, and for exponents. We can also end with an else statement, and if it's not one of these operators, we'll print invalid operator. Now we have successfully built a basic calculator. Now let's run this program. What's the first number? Let's say 7. Operator, let's say we're adding. Second number, let's say we're adding 11.3. There you go, 18.3 is the answer. Look at that. We can do this for any operator. Let's say division this time. 4 divided by, 8.9. And that's our answer. Now let's do an invalid operator. Let's say 7. Let's say our operator is ABC, which is not an operator. And our second number is 3. Invalid operator. And look at that, the program works. We have successfully built the calculator. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to follow along with this video series by subscribing and hitting the notification bell, or by clicking on the next video, so that you can expand your knowledge about Python. And as always, I can't wait to see you next time.